my name's Chris, and I'm the Rustic Caveman. This video is, as you can see by all the stuff around me, a little bit different than my average video. I do enjoy making my own beer. I also enjoy making my own mead. And in this case, we're going to call this one a mead, although it's got quite a bit of brown sugar in it also. What I've got here is a pot of leftover spiced cider from an event that I was at last night. There's about 3.5 gallons in there. In your typical recipe is 3 pounds of honey to a gallon of liquid. So 3 pounds of honey, gallon of liquid. Multiply that up any way you need to do it. Anyway, been a little while since I've done this. Just been kind of busy. But what we're going to do is I'm going to light off the pot. I need to get it up to about 90 degrees to 100 degrees. We're going to give it a lot of stirring, and then we're going to add that honey. And the reason we're getting it up to that temperature is so that the honey will mix in well with the cider. Now the cider already has a lot of sugar in it. That's the brown sugar. So it's already very sweet. So we're going to go light on the honey. Half the honey that we actually need, because this is so sweet, and I don't want it to get too alcoholic. So I've got a blend that I like, and in this case, about half the honey, which is, there's 5 pounds there. Bought it at Walmart, just cheap honey. And there's about 3.5 gallons in here, like I said. So you figure out the math. Anyway, now this carboy that I'm using is a 5-gallon carboy. It's been actually sitting in storage for quite a while, so it's, I would say, not necessarily the cleanest. So I mixed up a batch of Star Sand in a, basically it's a half bucket. It's about 2.5 gallons of water. So I used basically a ½ ounce of Star Sand in that bucket of water. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pour that into the carboy. I'm going to give it a quick brush with the carboy brush. Make sure this is clean and sanitary while the pot is warming up. Now the pot will take. You guys are not supposed to be here. You guys, anyway. So we'll take care of that. And I'm going to turn the video off because I have our big dog trying to sneak up on the chickens. Ah. And back to our regularly scheduled program. star stand gets really foamy. So one thing you learn when you're home brewing, don't fear the foam. No matter what I do with this carboy, there's going to be some foam left over, and that's perfectly fine. That's not how that was supposed to go. Okay, we'll let some more of that settle down. I'm going to sterilize my paddle, sterilize my hands. Yes, I get sloppy with my star sand. Now this batch already has the mulling spices in it. They were cooked in there. They sat in here overnight in the back of the truck in the pot. So those spices, this is the first, this is initially setting up. Everything's going to go in the carboy. Now in about a month, I'm going to basically take everything out of this carboy, put it into another carboy, except for the crud that'll be on the bottom. That's called racking it off, and I'm just going to rack off that first time, and then after that I'll let it set for about another month, and then probably rack it back into this carboy, and after that I'll let it set for 3 or 4 months. I'll taste it every once in a while just to see where it's at, but most likely this will be drinkable in a month. Guaranteed. It's going to be drinkable in a month. But you get a lot more of the flavor out. You get a lot more of the smoothness. Everything kinds of level out a little bit the longer that it sets. Kind of like wine, because this is essentially a honey wine. Now hopefully I'm not cutting off my head, but either way, you get the picture. I need to go get the bung and the airlock and a piece of hose for that thing. All right, my temperature shows to be about 110. So we're going to call that done. I don't want to get it too hot. I'm going to take the hose, the bung, 3 pieces of airlock, throw them in there, give this another stir, pick up my honey, and I'm going to pour my honey in. Another reason I turn off the fire is because I don't want the honey to scorch. was sweet honey. Need some help, Mom?
What?
Need some help?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, I'm going to swing this around a little bit. I'm going to use the hot water in here to help get the rest of the honey out. I know when I got it all when it doesn't stick to the side of the jar anymore. I just checked. Looks like you still have plenty of battery. Okay. Had to go let Mom in our fenced-in section so she could play with the chickens. Anyway, back to the mead. We've turned the fire off. I've poured in the honey. I'm just going to stir for a while to get all that honey incorporated in there. A little bit more of that foam in. Again, don't fear the foam. Shake a little bit more of that foam out. That's fine. It's not going to cause a problem. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is dish out our hose. We'll stick our hose on the end of my plug here. Turn it into the carboy and turn it on. Make sure it made it out. Oh, we're almost out of. One of those stupid little bears got stuck. Clean that. See if this will make it in the hole. Not a chance. Alright. Time for plan B. I'm going to use the brewery funnel for what the brewery funnel is supposed to be used for. I'll be in about half hour 45 to start cooking dinner. Okay, after all the interruptions, we use the funnel to put the last of it in the jug. Jug is sterilized, it's ready to go. The temperature is at 110. Anyway, pouring in here would have cooled it off a little bit. I'm going to let it set for a couple more minutes to cool off. So I have plenty of time to oxygenate, especially pouring it through the funnel. So this is where we're at. The cider, spice cider, is in the carboy. I'd say its temperature is getting close to 90. By the time it got cooled off and everything, putting it in there. And those struggles, so it's cooled down a little bit. So I'm going to add the yeast. I am using D47. That is pretty much, when it comes to mead, my go-to yeast. Another one that's really good is the little packets of Red Star. Another common one is well, actually there's a lot. You've got 1116. You got 1118, 71B. All of those are Levelin. The Red Star in the red packet is your standard wine yeast. It's also a pretty common one to use, and I use it if I don't have the D47. Since I had a brewery store, yeah, I've got a lot of all of it in stock still. Anyway. So, one packet does 5 gallons. This is a 5-gallon carboy. We're going to dump it in there. I'm going to re-sterilize the paddle. Yep, looks like someone didn't want to come out. Okay. We'll sterilize the paddle. In case you didn't know, the small end of the paddle gets right into a carboy. And you just spin it. Pick it up, kind of get some of the yeast off the inside of the thing. Spin it again. That's it. Toss a lot of my barn boards. Here's my carboy, or my bung. Now these little 3-piece see, this looks like it's got a crack in it. It does. Okay. Let me go get another one of those. Again, the advantage of having a brew supply shop is I have everything I need. So, take it in, quick rinse, sterilize it. Now, these have a kind of like a little line in them. And so you fill it up to the little line, drop in that, put that over top of it. I usually give a little bit of a shake. Yep, mine's still a little high. That's about where we need to be. Push it down on there. And that's it. One of the biggest, most important things at this point is don't touch it. I'm going to actually put this inside Mom and Dad's house because the inside of their house is about the same temperature as the surface of the sun, so it should ferment well in there. Whereas I keep the cabin at about 62, 65, and the warehouse is only heated when we're actually in it. So, yeah, Mom and Dad's house is usually between 70 and 80, which is about where this thing needs to be. And that's all there is to it. That's it. That's all there is for making mead. You have your liquid, whatever you choose. You can do, you can make mead tea if you want. Take some black tea, make some green tea, some lavender tea, whatever. Mix it all up. It's 3 pounds of honey per gallon of liquid. Unless you already have a sweet concoction already, then you kind of got to guesstimate. You heat it up just enough to get the honey in it, stirred up, mixed well. You add a packet of yeast. You dump it all in a sterilized vessel. I actually prefer to use the buckets. In fact, when I rack this thing off, it'll actually go into one of the buckets. And that's it. Put an airlock on it, call it good. By tomorrow morning, I'm going to have bubbles coming up in that airlock. And she'll be rocking and rolling. If for some reason, and I know people panic about this, if for some reason you don't have bubbles in a couple of days, just add another packet of yeast. That's it. A lot of people have a tendency to turn this into a great big huge experiment. As you can see, I slapped this together beside my truck in front of the warehouse. Reason being is I got a rubbish fire. It's over there. Kind of got to keep an eye on it. That's kind of why I set up here. That's it. Now that we're done, once I take this inside, I've got to scrub all this down, sterilize it again. That's why I keep the bucket of sterilized water, and rinse it all off and put it away. And that's all there is to it. So if you ever want to give this a shot, it's easy. It really is. Don't be afraid of it. You can go on the internet, get all kinds of ideas, and some of those folks on the internet will make this sound like you have to have a PhD in brewing. You don't. It's easy. Just try it. The worst thing that'll happen, start out with a gallon. Start out with just a simple gallon. The worst thing that'll happen, if it goes bad on you, probably won't unless you have introduced some type of a bacteria. But worst thing that happens is it doesn't work. Trash it, start over. You already have all the equipment. All you got to do is mix another batch of liquid, pour in another 3 pounds of honey, stir it up, add some yeast, put on your airlock, and let it play. My name's Chris. I'm the Rustic Caveman. Have at it. You have a good night. We've got the sun setting over there. So, that should be it. I gotta go cook dinner for Mom. Have a good one.